Will this stuff be ready in time?
Sure, it's fast drying.
What time do we leave in the morning?
Early, around 7.
I don't see why I can't come with you.
Oh, it's going to be tough.
Fine, so what?
Well, I mean really tough. It's going to be a kind of endurance test to see how fast we get up to Pike Falls, how little gear we can get along with, and how much food we can pick up fishing and trapping, that sort of thing.
Girls aren't any good at that sort of thing?
Sure, but...
Well, then?
Well, it just wouldn't be fair. We'd worry about you.
Okay, Sir Galahad. You're the boss, I guess.
Well, I guess that just about wraps it up.
You know what, Topper? I think we've just got to show them. Why don't we go too? Overland route. I guess we couldn't make Pike Falls before them, but we could turn up and give them the shock of their lives. Okay? We'll show them. Boy, who do they think they are anyway?
It's that yellow seaplane again. Been over 4 times this past week. I'd say there's something a bit fishy about it. Could be. Nobody commutes back and forth like that if they're just going up into the bush to hunt or fish.
How far can a machine like that go? I mean, what kind of range would it have?
Depends where it came from, of course. Not too far. Didn't have auxiliary fuel tanks or anything. George know about it? I don't know, but he certainly ought to. Let's get this stuff stowed away, if it's not too uncomfortable.
XNY 556, calling XNY 556A for Apple. XNY 556, calling XNY 556A for Apple. Come in, please.
Hi, Mr. Keeley.
XNY 556, calling XNY 556A for Apple. Come in, please.
Mr. Keeley?
Herb, that's you?
In propria persona.
Come again?
Latin. Means sure is, Mr. Keeley. In a kind of free translation.
It does? We're always learning, Herb, even at my age. Will you give a message to Pete?
Sure.
Ask him if he'd be kind enough to spare me a couple of minutes up here at the office.
Okay, Mr. Keeley.
Herb,
Yes?
no free translations. Just make it verbatim.
Just tell him to skip what he's doing and get up to the office pronto, whether he wants to or not.
Dead right, Herb.
Okay, understood. Over and out.
Hi, Pete.
Herb said you were in trouble, wanted help.
Herb was being tactful. I just wanted to tell you I'm flying up to Sampson Lake, staying overnight, back around noon tomorrow.
We'll be away. We're leaving pretty early in the morning.
Well, have a good trip. And don't make things too tough for yourselves.
Chubb will take care of that. I guess he's
Sybarite?
what's that when it's at home?
A guy who likes life served up on a plate.
You could be right. Hey, George, did you see that yellow seaplane?
What yellow seaplane?
Flew over about 20 minutes ago, heading north.
You get the markings or the number?
Couldn't see them, but it's been over 4 times this week. Can you think of any reason for that?
Not right off the cuff. This looks like it. J3 Piper Cub, yellow. Identification CFBUJ.
Could be.
Belongs to a syndicate of city business tycoons. They've got a permit to fish Lake Lucy. They've rented the old Wilcox shack at the south end of the lake. That's about all I know about them.
Didn't you issue the permit?
No, it came from what Herb might call one of the higher echelons.
Still can't understand it, George. Why would they fly up 4 times in 1 week if they've rented a shack which they could stay in?
Could be one guy at a time, going up for a day's fishing.
So you don't see anything to worry about?
Not yet, but as soon as I do, I'll start worrying real hard.
We won't be far from Lake Lucy. Might go over and take a look.
If you want to, but play it cool, Pete. And I quote, "Tact and courtesy are always to be preserved in relations with the public."
Message received.
Mike going with you?
He was, but his parents are going to the city for a couple of days, and they want him to go with them.
Why don't you take Herb?
Herb?
Well, why not? Isn't this supposed to be a kind of endurance test?
You didn't bring much grub, Herb. Aut Caesar, aut nullus. Okay, I'll buy it. Just this once. What's it mean? If I can't be Caesar, I don't want to be anybody. Well, who said anything about Caesar? What's he got to do with it? Well, I guess it could mean if we're going to be tough, let's be real tough. George was right. This is going to be a real endurance test. Hi, fellas. Hi, Chubb. Come on. Would you bring your lunch?
Nah, just some spare grub. The way I figure it, the more you got under the belt, the tougher you can be.
I'd say you intend to be real tough. Well, let's get it in. If she doesn't sink, we'll get moving. Come on. Hey, Chubb. Herb. It's the same plane.
That's 5 times this week.
George thinks it's okay. And it's just these guys up from the city for a day's fishing. But I think he's wrong. I don't think they would, not every day like this. And if they aren't, then there's some dirty business going on. That's my hunch.
You could be right, Pete.
Well, I guess that's true, come to think of it. Gosh, this is awful. Herb, are you okay? Oh.
Peter's coming back. Circler must be coming down.
Lake Lucy must be nearer than I thought. Why don't we go and take a look?
Think we should call George in the walkie-talkie first?
No, he won't be back yet. Besides, we're way out of range. And you've got to keep them moving when they go like that.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Hey, Herb. Herb. Everything's gonna be okay. You sure? Sure. We're gonna preserve tact and courtesy in our relations with the public. I quote. I guess that. It didn't sound like you. Hey, how long are we gonna be away? We ate 20 minutes ago, Chubb. Remember?
Well, that's right, but we'll be in the bushes.
Come on. We'll survive. Like camels. Bring the other walkie-talkie, Chubb. We might need it.
Okay.
Quiet, everybody. Sound carries over water. Stop breathing, Chubb. Does that look like loading a catch of fish to you?
No.
These guys don't look like big business tycoons to me. Whatever big business tycoons look like. We couldn't even reach a fire tower from here.
Maybe we should track back till we're in range.
And what do we tell them? It's a nice day and these guys are loading little sacks of we don't know what into their float plane? Herb's right. We ought to try and find out what goes on first. Hey, they're going. Let's go and take a look at the Wilcox shack. Come on. That's the shack. Been deserted for years.
It's not deserted now.
You have to see what's going on in there.
How do we get to it? Not much cover.
Be easier from the other side. The trees come pretty close.
No, might be possible.
Herb, you come with me. Chubb, you can stay here, and we'll make this the base.
All I want to know is why you're here.
I told you, fishing.
All alone.
Well, sure, why not?
You're way back in the bush, a long way from home. That's why.
Why shouldn't I come to the bush? What's wrong with that?
Cut it out, will ya? Kid your age back in the bush like this, wandering around by himself. He's fooling us, Clarky.
I guess maybe your mom and dad are around somewhere. Camping, huh?
No, I told you.
Look, Clarky, it's a waste of time. We gotta get rid of the kid. If he's by himself, it just makes it that much easier, that's all.
Get rid of him.
Sure, we got to. We need another 3 weeks before the rest of the ore comes down from the mine and we get it shipped out of here.
Yeah, I know all that. But running high-grade ore out of the country and doing in some kid are two different things.
Look, this is a big syndicate, not just you and me. There's big money in it. This kid gets home and opens his mouth, he could blow things wide open.
They got Chubb. I saw what happened. Maybe this will give them a new slant on food. I don't like it, Herb. They were pretty rough with them. Sure were. They're not city guys on vacation, that's for sure. We've got to get them out. If we rush them from two sides... You're a good guy, Herb. But if they get us both, we're cooked. So you're going to stay out of it. If they get me, take one of the walkie-talkies, get back to the canoe, go down the river until you can get Mac Craig's fire tower, and get him to tell George and Sergeant Scott. Makes sense, but you're what they call a strategic reserve, okay? Remember we were talking about Caesar? What about him? I guess you and Caesar would have got on pretty well together.
There's nobody with them. Maybe we could just keep them here.
And they're not gonna miss him back home? They're not gonna come looking for him?
All right. You're the guy with the ideas. How about coming up with one?
The lake's pretty deep. The kid had an accident.
I can swim.
Don't worry. That can be fixed.
You'll never do it. Pete'll come.
Pete? Thanks, kid. We'll be waiting for Pete. All right, son. Quite still.
Where's Chubb?
He's right here. Bring him in, Clarky.
Come on.
Stand against that wall, kids. Facing it. Don't move. Let him go, Clarky.
Hey, cut it.
Hi, Pete.
Is that thing loaded, Chubb?
Sure is. I saw him load it.
Too bad.
Get moving. Face to the wall.
I couldn't warn you, Pete. He was...
That's okay. I just goofed. I guess Julius would have done better.
Julius?
Caesar, an old friend of mine.
Outside there?
Could be. But don't let it worry you. He's been dead for a couple of 1,000 years.
How's it coming?
Not much more. Another 15 minutes. We ought to be ready for takeoff.
We gotta get rid of the kids first. Loose piece of tar paper from the roof. The place is falling to pieces.
Well, just as long as it lasts another 3 weeks.
Pete!
Lay off it, kids. You'll have us all.
You all right, Johnny? Hey, room is full of smoke.
You just noticed it?
Chimney's got blocked. Must be a bird's nest.
You fix it. I'll watch the kids.
You guys coming, or do you like it here?
Kid's windbreaker.
It's a trick. That must have been another kid. We gotta go after him.
Would you mind telling me how? You could lose a troop of performing elephants in that brush.
Still, we gotta get him.
It's a waste of time. Look, in another half hour, we can get this stuff loaded, clean up this place so it looks nice and innocent, and then get out.
And after that...
Lie low for a bit. Then get the rest of the stuff down from the mine by a different route.
Okay. I don't like it. But we better get moving. It's the only thing we can do, I guess.
What's it all about, anyhow? I think they're smuggling high-grade ore.
What's high grade?
Gold-bearing ore in which the proportion of gold to waste matter is high. So it's worth pinching.
Because you get more gold for less ore. Get it?
Where do you think it's coming from?
Probably from the gold mines up at Esme. I guess they bring it down by canoe, stash it away in the shack, then fly it out of the country.
Big city tycoons?
I don't think they're really that at all. Just a high-class racket.
We better get back down the river and contact George or someone.
And let them get away.
Well, how can we stop them?
Fix the plane.
They might get annoyed if they see you doing that.
They won't. You stay here with one of the walkie-talkies. Chub will have the other one down at the lakeshore. If these two come out of the shack, you warn Chub, and Chub will warn me. Okay?
Okay, Julius.
Well, how do we fix it?
I don't know. We don't want to so they crash just so they can't take off.
I know. Water in the gas.
Take too long. So it's fiddling with the engine. It's got to be something I won't think of for quite a long time. If we could fix it so they don't see it, get this log into the water and make a sort of sea anchor of it.
Chub, can you hear me? Over. Chub, for Pete's sake, can you hear me? Testing. You with me, Chub? Over.
Herbert, is that you? Over.
Gabby, how did you get there? Wherever you are. Over.
I'm about 10 miles down from Pike Falls. Just thought I'd come up and say hello to you tough guys. Just in case you wanted any help. Over.
Help? We sure do. Can you get a message to Matt Craig? Tell him it's urgent. Herb? Chub, where have you been? They're on the way.
Hey, Pete, they're on their way.
Just made it. All fixed? I hope so. End of round one.
I guess they're going to sit back in their corner for one, try to figure out what hit them.
Jordan Sergeant Scott, I guess.
Well, how did they...
Gabby passed on a message to them.
Gabby?
That's right. She was on her way up to Pike Falls to say hello and see if we were making out okay. You know, I guess some girls are a little tougher than others. So, all we have to do now is sit back and watch the next round.
Well, we might as well have a ringside seat. Come on.
Hey, anybody got a can opener?